All right, here at the first day of Structure with Marten Mickos, CEO of Eucalyptus. Marten, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
So how long have you been CEO? Has it been 3 months now?
I think it's about 3 months, yes.
And how did you go about making the decision to join Eucalyptus? And I'd love to hear some of your first thoughts of the company.
So when I left Sun and MySQL about a year ago, I asked everybody I knew, so what's bigger than open source? And I got two main responses. I got many responses, but two main ones. One was the mobile internet, and the other one was cloud computing. And then over time I realized cloud computing will be my new passion. It's probably the biggest thing that I will ever have experienced in this industry. So I just need to join it. And then I found Eucalyptus and I applied for the job. I begged for them to hire me, and luckily they did.
Cool. So when did you first learn about Eucalyptus, and what particular part of that? Because of course there's tons of cloud startups out there right now. What attracted you to Eucalyptus itself?
So the software is just fantastically designed. It has already many years of development and proper scientific approach to scaling and building a modern infrastructure piece of software. So that was very compelling. It's a leader in its own market. And then once I met the team and realized what a sincere and strong team they had, then it was obvious that I just had to be part of it.
And so just at a high level for folks who don't know, Eucalyptus, how would you say what Eucalyptus does?
So we do cloud computing infrastructure, meaning that if you in your own data center would like to have a service similar to what Amazon is providing in public, then you come to us, you deploy that software on top of your existing infrastructure, and there you have a cloud. Same API.
And then what are some of the examples we were talking before? You have some pretty big names that you're already deployed in.
Right, so we have tons of downloads, so the install base is growing every day. NASA was an early user, they're a big user in their Nebula cloud. So USAspending.gov runs on Eucalyptus, that's a great example. And then we have corporations, we have scientific and research institutions, we have the government, we have some modern web and online companies, and some service providers.
And so, how would you say that your experience both at MySQL and your experience at Sun, how is that going to help you in what you're doing now? How are they similar or dissimilar? The one's obviously a smaller company that grew, and the other one's a big company.
So I think what I learned at MySQL was how to build a commercial business around open source, and I made all the mistakes you can make, and I'm sure I will make more of them, but I have a good sense for how that's done. But at the same time, MySQL was a disruptor of the old, but Eucalyptus is an innovator of the new. And that's a very major difference in terms of business model and go-to-market and strategic positioning and all of that. So that's the main difference. Sun Microsystems was a wonderful organization to work in. The company culture was phenomenal, the technology was phenomenal. The business wasn't, as we have learned, but it was a great place to learn how to operate things at large scale and sort of understanding the seriousness of running massive mission-critical systems.
And then one of the partnerships that Eucalyptus struck before you joined is with Canonical. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing there with Canonical and UEC?
Right, so we have a very deep relationship with Canonical. They have a product called the Ubuntu Enterprise Cloud, which is Ubuntu, the Linux distro plus Eucalyptus, and they distribute it all over the world, and we go to market together to anybody who needs a powerful, scalable cloud solution.
And so that's one distribution you're on, but you support a bunch. I think there was some news recently about Windows as well.
We run on all the Linuxes. You can run your applications on Windows or on Linux. We support the hypervisors, the main hypervisors of the market. So yes.
And then, just to close with, what is something that we should all look for Eucalyptus going forward, without revealing any secrets? What are some of the things that you've got your eyes set on strategically to do over the next year?
We're very focused on serving our customers. We're growing the company rapidly. We're hiring. You should see all the normal growth things that you see in a startup company that has its ambitions set very high. But it's a marathon, so we should know that this won't happen overnight. Cloud computing is a massive shift, but it will take years for it to fully mature.
Excellent. Marten Mickos, thank you so much.
Thank you, Barton.